can't come on this show, at least not as a co-host, without video on. We need to see where in the world you're coming in from.
And
I'm
what
home!
fucking cool jersey you have.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
And turn around.
I meant to wear this backward.
Bringing backwards jerseys back.
Yeah, I was about to do it today.
One beer at a time.
Yeah, I wore this like 9 a.m. at the campground, and someone was like, 15 beers, huh? Gonna be a day.
Yes, sir.
Nailed it.
Hold on, I have a question for you guys. How do I get my video to flip? Because everything in the background is backwards.
It looks
what we're seeing.
Yeah.
That's what it like Zoom will do. You look fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like to me, like mine looks backwards
forward.
to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You are
forward is a direction.
Yeah.
JP, keep all of that in. I like it when the listener gets to see us talk about Zoom maintenance and the behind the scenes construction of the Belligerent Bees podcast.
Yeah. I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it because I have to leave for San Francisco anyways this week, so I won't have a ton of time.
Wait, when are you going to San Francisco?
I'm going for work. So we have a US team. I don't know, what is it? I keep messing up the name, but it's a fiscal year kickoff.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
How long will you be there?
Through Friday morning. I land at 9:45.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to talk because I'm coming to San Francisco on Thursday.
What?
Yeah.
Well, now I'm gonna go to San Francisco.
We're going to a wedding in Napa. I had no idea you were going to be down there. I'm staying with B-Rad on Thursday night and Sunday night. We have a very early flight back to Minneapolis on Monday. But one of Stam's friends getting married at San Francisco City Hall, which is quite the wedding event space that I didn't know about until this. It looks beautiful.
It is beautiful. I've actually during my amateur photographer era, I shot photos of a wedding at City Hall back in my heyday. My creativity heyday. Now I'm just stuck doing this podcast, making merch.
This is so much more creative than any other creative pursuit. But yeah, then we'll be in Napa the rest of the weekend. I'm excited. I've done the Santa Rosa part of wine country. Now getting the chance to do Napa, so I'll have a well-rounded palate. I might just become a sommelier after this.
You got to hit up Tubu.
I should hit up Tubu. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, Tubu.
I'll see what he's getting into.
Oh yeah, he's getting crazy.
Always. We'll play some water polo. Play some water polo and drink with a wine break in between every quarter.
There it is. And he'll tell you all about it, baby.
I won't be and I will vomit profusely in the pool.
Nice. That's how that sport goes, right? I think we don't have a team.
It is.
Well, not an official team. So
yeah.
Do we even have a club team?
Probably.
Maybe.
Oh, we do.
I mean, there's a pretty nice pool at Dixon. Shout out Dixon.
Shout out Dixon.
And if you're on the Oregon State Club water polo team, first of all, sorry, but also let us know.
Yeah, hit us up.
We'll do what we can.
Yeah.
Also,
I see that there's a women's water polo, but I don't know if that might be it.
Oh.
Okay. Shout out Oregon State women's water polo.
Yeah,
I mean, they have a
Dixon
Facebook group.
PB&J shakes.
Oh, those are so good. I felt so healthy drinking those and really full.
Well, it definitely made you healthier if you were drinking them at Dixon.
Yeah.
After working out.
Yeah.
It was like
yeah. I did the curl machine for like hours and nothing.
They had like 900 calories.
So you guys had to see this. This is I don't know if this is still active because the last post for the Oregon State women's water polo team was April 14th, 2023 on Facebook.
Okay.
And then they have a link to their website.
Not a year. It could still be alive.
No. Oh, sorry. 2013.
Oh, 2013. I was like, April 14th, 2023.
Not that long ago. April 14th, 2013. That is a long time ago.
We beat UW 5-4 to win third place in the Northwest Regional Championships. Good shit.
Let's go.
Yeah.
If you were on the 2013 Oregon State Women's Water Polo Club team, please reach out.
Yes. And shout out to you.
Heart it.
Yeah.
Heart it. If
Done.
there's an admin on that Facebook page,
They're probably like, what is going on?
You have a notification from us.
Yeah. Yeah. But then you look at their website, and this is definitely the 2010s. I look at this.
Comic Sans. Oh shit.
Nice.
Man, I know it's not podcasting 101 to just look at and react to visuals on an audio medium, but I wish, listener, you could see what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, there's the polo team in the corner of the pool, and then a giant Photoshop beaver
with
sitting
a
next
coach
to them.
hat at the bottom of the water slide. I think that says coach. I think my vision's good enough.
It does.
Andre, please drop a link to this in the Twitters. And
is this
shout out Beavers 2011 water polo season? Let's do work. I love the Comic Sans gets a bad rap. I fucking love Comic Sans.
I agree. It is a good font.
That's the font.
That's the font. Yeah.
Comic Sans, man. It was like literally the only font I knew until I was 27.
I'm going to read this real quick, so keep it up, JP.
Right.
Welcome. We are the women's water polo team at Oregon State University. We are a club team and participate in many tournaments around the Northwest. In 2009, a year in which all three of us were in school, we took third in the Northwest Conference. Woo! In 2010, we improved and took second in the league. We're looking forward to the 2011 season. Go Beavs. I'm not being facetious. If you played Oregon State women's water polo at this time, and if it is now defunct, which it appears to be, but we don't know.
They have ads everywhere on this website. Good for them.
Reach out. For them. Yeah. Hopefully Oregon State women's water polo is still pulling in that ad money. Yeah. It's a club sport.
Wasn't prepared.
It's a club sport. They couldn't regulate that shit.
This is like some weird overlay on a sidebar that says team photos from the 2009 season with exclamation mark, and then it's just like a bunch of like under construction icons with nothing there. Nothing there.
All right.
This is good. This is good podcasting. I'm into this.
This is great. This is the part of the
they have an email.
Lady Beavers.
Wow.
Lady Beavers water polo at hotmail.com.
Can you even get into Hotmail? Like if you got a Hotmail account, I don't even think
I'm not going to share the phone number on the show just in case that's like just someone's cell phone number who is volunteering. We might need to hit that up though.
Yeah, shoot him a text. Let's just do it. Should we do it live?
Let's see. No, I need to, prepare.
No, I'm going to do it right now.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
I'm doing it live. So I'm going to text both numbers just in case one goes through. And what should I ask them? Oh, this didn't work.
Would you like to be on the Belligerent Beef podcast?
And they'll say,
what?
Who dis?
How are you reaching out to me? I have the creepy solicitor's block on my phone.
Should I say you up?
No, do not say that.
All right,
shoot, dude.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna say, is this?
We checked to see if there is a water polo program at Oregon State, and we found this number on an old website. Either way, we're interested in talking about the history of Oregon State water polo. I would love a chance to either just chat or exchange messages. Sincerely, Benny, JP, and Terry, aka the Belligerent Beefs.
All right, I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna lead with that so they're not just like immediate delete. So like, hey, we Belligerent Beefs podcast checked if OSU had a women's water polo team and found the old website and these phone numbers.
We are investigative journalists.
we are
working on the greatness.
We solved the crime of where is Bernie's Beaver, and now we need to solve the crime of where is the women's water polo team.
We've uncovered evidence of a 2009 third place finish, a 2010 second place finish, and we are producing the 30 for 30 on the fate of the 2011 hopeful first place finishers.
My, the plot thickens.
Go Beavs. Yeah, what if I were to tell you?
It's 2009 and what, 20?
All right, hurry up. We've got so much to get to.
Well, what if they write me back? I'm a little nervous to hit send now.
No, hit send.
Who cares?
Well, I think you should just put you up.
You don't have
That sounded good.
You don't have to. You don't have to respond while we're recording.
I sent it. Oh, okay. Oh, they're definitely still active. I can share my name and photo with them. Should I do it? Yes.
Yeah.
That might build some goodwill or also come off as creepy. I'm not sure.
No, it'll build goodwill for sure.
Oh, all right. Well, we're going to find out if someone writes me back. They must be so confused.
Right. Especially, I mean, most people still have numbers from that time, you know, like I've never.
Oh, yeah.
I've never changed my number. I don't believe you guys have ever changed.
No.
Your number.
No.
I get asked where 541 is all the time.
That's ridiculous because you live in a neighboring state.
I know.
I know. I don't have like all Midwestern states like area codes memorized, but like I do know like the ones that you see occasionally. But
they compete.
We're well-traveled, cultured people. Okay, we're moving on. We're moving on from women's water polo. We have to.
Okay.
Otherwise, this episode's going to be 4 hours long.
Sure.
Whoa.
Because there's so much to check out.
At like the fans have asked for.
Dude.
I love this podcast. I wish it was longer.
Oh, I have a text, but it wasn't for them. Damn it. Okay. Never mind. Anyway,
it would be pretty sweet if they got back to us and there could be collaboration in the works. But I don't think anything so sweet as the Beaver women's basketball team punching their ticket to the Sweet 16.
And
then he hit the segue button.
Let's go. Yeah.
How sweet it is. Put it in the episode title. Book those tickets to Albany, baby. JP, please stop sharing your screen because it's distracting me.
I can see the notes.
I can already see. I don't need to see the notes twice. That's how you triple stamp a double stamp. No races. That gets dangerous. Beaver women's basketball takes care of business at legendary Gill Coliseum on a very victorious, historic weekend.
Twice.
For all Oregon State athletics. They did it twice. But what were you doing on Sunday morning at about 1:06 p.m. Pacific time? There is no way to fact check this. Actually, there is, but I'm not going to do it. Because I believe at the exact same moment that Talia von Oelhoffen drained a 24-foot three-pointer to give the Oregon State women's basketball team a 5-2 lead in their second round game against Nebraska that they did not give back a mere 1,000 steps away at Goss Stadium. Travis Bazzana, Australian for noise, belted his fourth consecutive leadoff home run in what would eventually be a massive sweep for the Oregon State baseball team. We'll start with women's hoops. We'll get to the diamond. We've got a bunch of other good stuff to get to, but it's always a great day to be a Beaver. We know that. You know that. Everybody knows that. Mm-hmm. But I remember just seeing Twitter. I was on Twitter at the start of the game because I was mad that the bar I was at didn't have ESPN News on anywhere. So I was watching the end of the Kansas State-Colorado game that would not end. And Oregon State Twitter was going crazy about the people who couldn't watch the beginning of the women's basketball game, the people who could watch it, the people who were at it, and also the people at the baseball game watching Travis Bazzana. I swear it was concurrent. Travis and Talia, two of the greatest Beaver athletes, certainly of the year, maybe of all time, in any century or galaxy. So what a Sunday. A great stretch of days. Just the elite of the elite that is Oregon State athletics keep climbing. But Oregon State women's basketball ultimately takes care of business 61-51. Scott Rueck is now 9-1 in NCAA tournament games at Gill Coliseum. And even better, he's going back to the Sweet 16. First time since 2019. First tournament since 2021. God damn, this feels good. Bring on the Irish. The Irish deserve a clapback for that shit at the Sun Bowl. I'm still mad. So,
and the soccer championship game.
And the college. Oh, I forgot about those bastards.
Semifinals, yeah.
Well, that was 2023.
Yeah,
All
but
right?
still, in the last 12 months, it'll be our third time meeting Notre Dame in
I
the
know.
postseason. And
Third
I think
time's a charm.
yeah, it is a charm, and we owe it to them. I keep
We
getting
do.
text messages, and I keep thinking it's the water polo team. It's not.
You've been waiting 13 years for this text.
Well, I think that I like our chances, and here's
I
why.
do too.
Here's why. Because Terry, I listen to you a lot when it comes to analysis, and you said that we match up good against Notre Dame's. I also think
Thank you. That
from
adds
what
a lot
I
of pressure.
from what I saw, we didn't necessarily have our best game against Nebraska. Nebraska's a good team. They beat Iowa. And Reagan, I forget Nebraska's center's name, but she, similar to Reagan, sort of carries that team. And Reagan shut her down. And that was great to see. I thought we settled for too many threes in that game, especially in the second and third quarter. But this team finds a way to win.
Thank God for JP's calming text message presence, because Benny and I were melting down. We talk about everything on this podcast, not just the positive. So we do have to mention the 8-minute plus scoring drought, where we missed 12 straight shots. But Alexis Markowski is who you're referring to, Benny.
Yes.
All Big Ten center from Nebraska, who was held to a season low 8 points in this game.
Yeah.
And you guys were losing your minds in my text.
Oh my
I was
God.
sitting
So
sitting at a
frustrating to
campsite outside of a yurt in Nehalem
That's so Portland
Bay
of you.
State Park. It's trying to tether from my phone.
You live
to
in
my
Northeast
laptop.
Portland. We get it, JP. We already know this about you.
Yeah, but like my phone is like trying to get like it's like 1 bar of 5G so that it could actually do the stream consistently.
Overwhelming JP's phones,
and you're losing your mind.
Take it to the cop.
Yeah, you guys are losing your mind. So I finally would just grab my phone. I was so sick of it. I just wrote chill.
Chill.
Now and Terry did it for a second. And then I said,
all right, now I'm chill. Wait a minute. No, I'm not.
Yeah, then it was like, I'm more chill now.
Now I'm more chill.
I did say I've been day drinking since 10 a.m. Y'all need to take notes on my chill. I don't remember saying that part.
that would have helped. But yes, many players stepped up. I'll kind of, bunching the games together a little bit. There was a scary moment in the third quarter against Eastern in the first round when Reagan went down with an ankle that did not look great. Thankfully, it was minor. She did not return in that game. Thankfully, it was pretty well in hand at that point, despite a good start from
they held on.
A good Eastern team. Jamie Loetta is a baller, dude. She knows how to play. So yeah, they took a good punch from a feisty Eastern team. Then I thought Reagan played pretty well for the most part against Nebraska, but also got into some foul trouble. So we had to play without her for long stretches of time against a really good team from the Big Ten. And this year it was just kind of like, man, I get we're good, but like if we lose Reagan in the tournament, and this is obviously different than losing her for the stretch of 4 or 5 games that we did. But I think a lot of players got better in that stretch of 4 or 5 games. And I think to me, it had a really hot, cold day shooting. Started out great. And then that drought, the drought touched the entire team. But to me, it was incredible on defense. Blocking, 4 shots. Nebraska, normally, they are offensively, they're similar to us in a little bit, where it's like establish presence down low by getting big, good, tough, high percentage buckets and then kicking out to shooters while people are freaked out about the inside game. They got neither of them going. Jazz Shelley, former Oregon player, we should say, did choose to leave Oregon, so we know she has some good sense, but still didn't want to see her have a good day today. Yesterday, Jazz was the only player in double figures for them with 10 points. She also was the only starter on Nebraska to register an assist. Just like Donovan, I thought didn't 1 point in the box score on a day where like no one really had it offensively. There's a free throw at the end of the game, but Hunter again so good just at the point defensively, and setting the tone there. And Man, Natalie Potts, who's been an incredible freshman for them, Big Ten freshman of the year, to only have 2 points in this game when she's been, I think both her and Markowski were in the 20s last week against Iowa. And I know Iowa loves to, they have a player named Caitlin Clark, I think we've all heard of, who's, out of a video game, and they like to score a lot, but still Nebraska really gave Iowa all it could handle in that tournament championship game. So that's not a bad team we just beat.
No.
And defense travels. It sucks that you never want to close the curtain on basketball at Gill for a season because it's a special place and we play really well there. But defense travels, and now we're going all the way to Albany, and I think we're going to be the stronger defensive team. And also big shouts to Dominika Perova, who was amazing, has been amazing, but was amazing on Friday night in the first round against Eastern on her 19th birthday with her family from Czechia in attendance in person for the first time in her college basketball career. And awesome. I highly recommend watching the post-game press conference from that game. It's Ruick, Reagan, and Dom at the podium. And the way in which both Ruick and Reagan are both just giddy as all hell when talking about Perova is like the cutest thing I've seen so far in March Madness. Like, we love just being able to see the examples of the closeness of this team when the chemistry is on full display. And she's been a really important player for us down the stretch, and for her to just have a huge game where she leads us in scoring in a tournament game was awesome to watch. And happy late birthday, Dominika.
Yes, happy belated, 100%. Like
belligerent belated.
Yes, a nice belligerently belated birthday wish from us. And one thing I had to point out, and it proved itself, I think, against Nebraska quite a bit, where we talked pretty extensively a couple of weeks ago about that Ruick's built this team for depth. He's built them to provide experience. He's kind of held their hands in a way to make sure that they just continue to grow and then don't kind of feel like they have to crawl under a rock for any reason and doubt their abilities. He puts them in the right situations, and that would all come to fruition and pay off when this team needed to test its depth. And we're already seeing the fruits of the labor there with the game 2 against Nebraska just being like a very big team effort. We know that there are games that Talia will take over. We know there are a lot of games that Reagan will take over. We know that Tamia can come through in the clutch and just have a hot hand, on any given night. But when you're just relying on everybody to contribute, play their role, check their ego, I don't think there's any team in America that you can trust that can do that game in and game out that like you can this Beavers team. I honestly feel like they're the most selfless team, and everybody is cool with their role. Everybody is willing to step up if necessary. And then also everyone just wants to execute the game plan. So I really do feel that this team is built for a deep run, a very, very deep run. I know that we're about to run into some powerhouses if we can get through Notre Dame, but like they have all the ability and all the teamwork to really, really make this an exciting season. Maybe one that will rank above the rest that the successful Scott Ruick era.
I mean, if you get to the final, I know Ruick has taken us to a Final Four before, but if you beat South Carolina to get to the Final Four, damn, it's the best season in program history. Full stop. Yeah, that would really be amazing. Yeah, and I think you were right to call us out, JP, because also that I threw in the notes and wanted to mention is despite a 8-minute scoring drought, Nebraska scored the first bucket of the game. 10 seconds later, we tied it. And after that, Nebraska didn't have the lead at all. Other than 10 seconds of this game, Oregon State was always in the lead. Nebraska, once we had that big lead early, before we started missing shots, Nebraska cut it to within 5, but never got closer than that.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating when there's an absolute lid on the basket. Benny, you tweeted that out. Lil Clutch mentioned that, Lily Hansford, after the game, that there's just a lid for a while. Yeah. And also, Hansford herself has been in like I call it a mini slump because I think she was like one of her last 12 entering from 3-point attempts entering this last game. Hits two big ones when she's in there late. And I felt like that just kind of got everyone else going. Talia as well. Talia started well and finished well and was just absolutely marvelous across the board in this game to 19, 8, and 5. Was tough on defense. Also had a big block. Everyone was blocking shots. Kelsey Reese in the 12 minutes off the bench didn't score, but had some big rebounds and a big block on Markowski, I believe, in those minutes when we didn't have Reagan. And I got a shout out friend of the pod, Ashton Batuso, who had my favorite tweet of the day was 10 blocks by the women's basketball team today. That's the same number of blocks we walked in tiny dresses with no jackets from Impulse to Peacock. And I cackled. Great tweet, Ash.
That is a great tweet.
Thanks for making my day.
Nice.
So yeah, just that level of playmaking across the board and rim protection and just coast to coast defense. The 51 Nebraska only scored less than that once this season.
They're 21 points.
They're
below
up in
average.
the 70s. Yeah, they're in the 70s all the time. They're hitting threes.
They shot 20% from three, 31 from the field.
Dude, at one point they were 9% for three, and that was like in the third quarter at some point.
I mean,
that's why I was freaking out because I was like, they're gonna start hitting at some point.
Yeah.
like 20 of those points came in the last like 7 minutes. I think that was in Dashiell's recap when it was just like, all right, fuck it, we gotta get back. But like I said, never within 5 when Lily hit that 3 to put us up 15. I was like, all right, we're up 50 at this point. A 15-point lead in a game like this is almost a blowout. So it was just a marvelous performance both days. Benny, it looks like you have a thought.
Well, I just think like in that Nebraska game, it felt like Oregon State had the chance to really put the nail on the coffin for the vast majority of the game. And in 90% of their games, they're hitting those shots and running that lead up to 2025. And I don't think that that's outrageous to say that lead really should have been around 20 in that third quarter, the beginning of the third quarter. And it wasn't Nebraska that was playing really good D on us. We were just missing shots. Right. And I think if half of those shots fall, right. And this is like looking forward to Notre Dame. If we're looking at our normal shooting percentage, the outing that we had against Nebraska is definitely good enough to beat Notre Dame. Like you said, defense travels, and the defense that this team played against Nebraska was absolutely incredible. The ball movement was incredible too in that scoring drought. Like the ball movement was great. We were getting open looks. Like really, really open looks. It just wasn't dropping. So I really, really like our matchup against Notre Dame. I think something that it's the Sweet 16. So you probably aren't looking forward to much. But on the other end of that, you do have what is probably the best team in women's college basketball since 98 Tennessee. Like, I think that's a pretty fair statement. So yeah, it will be interesting going into Albany, seeing how this team plays. But if they bring that same intensity and that same defense, I really do like our chances against Notre Dame.
Well, and as long as we can keep going, I've noticed this trend for a while now, but I thought it was just circumstantial, but it does seem like it's intentional. And we're getting easy buckets to open the game. Why? Because we're just feeding Reagan. Before the defense can adjust, before they can really ready themselves for what they've been preparing for, probably, is to stop her from getting the ball down low. And Ruick's making them act on that. And most teams are coming out unprepared, and we're jumping out, 6-0, 8-0, well, 8 straight, 6-8 straight from Reagan. And it's giving us a solid foundation for everyone else, I think, 1, to get open, but 2, to just kind of soften the jitters and be like, all right, we've got a little buffer, or we're still in it. Like nobody's been relied on but Reagan right now, and she's just contributing, bucket after bucket early on and taking the hacks. And like if we keep going with that, I hope that there are no Notre Dame coaches listening to this podcast, it would shock me, but maybe they're doing research. But if Ruick can continue to stick with that game plan and just get Reagan established, and it isn't about getting Reagan going, because I don't think that there's any warm-up period required to get Reagan going. It is about getting everybody else open and drawing gravity from the defense down low. And so our shooters have clean looks. And like we've been saying, if we have those clean looks, yeah, they didn't fall for a while against Nebraska, but they will fall. And they'll fall when we need them to. And so, yeah, I think we just stick with that. And I love our chances. If our defense can keep up the intensity, like I think we're unstoppable.
Right. Well, like Kelsey Plum, former Washington great, who was the highest scoring player in women's college basketball history before the aforementioned Caitlin Clark surpassed her this year, said during halftime of that Oregon State Stanford tournament semifinal earlier this year that Scott Ruick's defense used to give me nightmares and kept me up at night because he won't let you get good shots. And I think what you're talking about, like JP too, is critical, because if the team is scoring at least, somewhat efficiently early, that knowing that the defense will be there is just like kind of a security blanket. You're never too far behind with a great defense. So even if those shots aren't dropping early, you can still come back. But I think just knowing, like, even if it's like 8-4, 2 minutes into the first, knowing what our defense is capable of, like, that just has everyone, and also the nervous blowhards like myself, feeling better too. So I think, just making sure they're attacking those high percentage areas, especially against Notre Dame, a team that we will have a size advantage against. They are good, but when you get to the Sweet 16, especially in the women's tournament, where upsets are a little bit fewer and further between than on the men's side, like, you're gonna be playing someone good. No one has an easy path. We may have the hardest path from the draw in this year's tournament. But I watched Notre Dame a bit. I watched their victory against Ole Miss today, and they are impressive in a lot of ways. They kind of just have a big three. Those players are Hannah Hidalgo, their point guard, and then Sonia Citrone and Maddie Westfeld, who handled the bulk of the scoring and the bulk of the minutes. And a lot of these games, Notre Dame doesn't have more than one bench player appear in the game, or sometimes it's 2, 3 in there, but they rely on their starters a lot. And Hidalgo, Citrone, and Westfeld make up most of the scoring. Hidalgo in particular, she's undersized, listed at 5'6", but averages 23 a game. I think the matchup to watch will be Hunter versus Hidalgo at the point. I don't care if Donovan Hunter scores in this game. I honestly don't. Just do what you can. If Hannah Hidalgo has an off game offensively, I think you say we win. Like, if that's like a prop bet, I would say that gets it done for the Beavs. Notre Dame will have probably a bit of a scoring and explosive advantage over us, but we are the stronger defensive team. We are the deeper team. And we are the bigger team. So I think we can not necessarily just like play bully ball, but if we take it to them a little bit, get any one of those big three in foul trouble, we just saw, like, our game plan won't fall off a cliff if Reagan's in foul trouble, like a lot of people thought it would. Notre Dame could do other stuff. Neil Ivey's a great coach. And speaking of third time we need to play Notre Dame here, this is the third straight year that Notre Dame has reached the Sweet 16, and they've been eliminated in the Sweet 16. So they're feeling the pressure, and whether that ends up being a good thing or a bad thing for them will play out on Friday. But I think I like this matchup for us. I really do. I think it's a better matchup maybe than initially thought when I saw who the 2 seeds were all going to be and who we'd have to play. I would have loved another crack at Stanford because we played them tough twice already. But yeah, Cameron Brink has been good against us, but I also think we've played well, and I think we've shown out against bigs. And this team's not going to flinch. We know that. And I think our strengths against Notre Dame's strengths provide a real path to victory.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's laid out for us. I think that the groundwork is there, that what Ruick and Co. has done for the development of this team this season will make us a weapon and a force to be reckoned with on the court, no matter who's hot, who's locked down, who's got a cold hand. We have so much depth. It could be anyone's turn on any given night.
Right. And like defense, depth travels. Size travels too.
It's true. They also lost to South Carolina 71-100, where in the Pacific or in the Paris of France. And now they're playing Paris of the Pacific Northwest.
I wish they were playing in the Paris of the Pacific Northwest, or just a few miles north. With that, we have to shout out. Gil looked absolutely electric. So if you were in the house for one or both games, props to you.
Yeah,
and
they look really.
I know
really
the team set a new season record.
103K.
It was 103K. There was above 75 for both these games, and man,
also
it's just a special place to watch this team, and that atmosphere. Can't ask for more.
So fun.
Maybe some people would ask for a little bit more, but we won't ask for more.
Never.
We love Gil. We are a Gil positive podcast. Oh man. So with that, moving forward, you can tell how excited we were to talk women's basketball and how sweet it is, because we blew right by the Reagan Beers segment, the segment named for Reagan Beers, that we forgot to do that. So real quick, we'll go through the weekly Reagan Beers segment. No surprise that I'm drinking another one from Fair State Brewing, but it is a timely.
How much are they paying you?
It is IPA Party Forward.
Whoa,
IPA.
That is psychedelic looking.
It's a psychedelic can, and because we're keeping the party moving forward, marching on to Albany and the Sweet 16, we're dancing.
Not
in
Albany,
the street.
Oregon.
We're not even flying to Albany. We're just dancing all the way there.
Let's go.
Party Forward, Fair State Brewing. I don't know actually what they're paying me, JP, but it's not enough. So Andre needs to start taking on accounting and sponsorship duties in addition to social media. And
I'll tell him on Friday.
Get me something in writing. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Hit up Phil Mao.
Yeah, we'll have a little bit of a post-concert powwow where we do some brainstorming about the work he's done up to this point. We have a lot to talk about.
For sure. All right, JP.
Well, I just got back, like I said, from Manzanita / Halem Bay, and I drank most of my beers, and we don't have anything here because I'm leaving town. So I have a Starburst, as you'd expect.
Nice.
I don't have anything here, but here's a beer.
Yeah. But I do a shout out. I got a shout out at the fish and chips cart in Manzanita. Our dude, Beef Recruiting, bumped into him. Good to see you, my man. And
when you texted us that, I was like, "Oh, you're back in Portland already." I love that you were just at the coast and bumped into Beef Recruited.
Yep, at a rainy food cart that was just whipping out fish and chips galore. It was
that sounds so good.
It was an incredible meal. It was great to see Beef Recruiting and his family. I hope you guys are enjoying your time at the coast. Also.
Did he drop any recruiting hot takes or spill any tea in the few minutes that you interacted?
No, the only tea was that their dog Brownie. It was her first time at the coast, so I hope that Brownie also enjoyed her visit too.
Hell yeah! Shout out Brownie.
Yeah. Yep.
Is it a chocolate lab?
No, it was like I don't even know what it was. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe a mutt. But she was cute. She was adorable. She was a little confused by all the rain and puddles and things around her, but she was cute.
Oh, I would love puddles if I was a dog, probably.
I love
them.
You'd
love the Northwest. You'd love the Northwest if you were a dog, Terry.
Just jumping them. The dogs also kind of love snow,
jumping them. Yeah, there's so much you can do. Laying them just to piss off your owners.
Oh, so many things.
Yeah,
so many things.
Yeah. The options are endless.
All right.
Dogs have it good.
Benjamin Lawrence, Sebastian.
Except for you, Doug.
Are you drinking decaf coffee? Are you drinking Baja Blast? You did say you were tired before this, so I don't know if you have any kind of crazy caffeinated beverage helping you out this evening.
Man,
Red Line
honestly was
red line.
Yeah, I thought about it, to be honest, and decided against it because I want to get good sleep tonight. No,
Smart.
but I am
Mature man.
continuing. I am continuing the microdosing of the churro milk mushroom chocolates, and it's fantastic. So
I'm glad my
shout out
recommendation
to
came
Jade.
through nicely, even though I've never
Dude,
tried them.
they are very good.
And those,
I am a
those are
microdose
also
mushroom
from-
connoisseur.
those are also from Treehouse, right?
Yeah,
Tree
Trey
Trey
house.
Trey's Treehouse.
Yeah. I bet it's the tray that we all know too.
Oh.
It would
Trey
check
balls.
out. Yeah.
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 If your name's Trey Balls, you kind of gotta go to the cannabis game at some point, whether
Yeah.
Microdose
whether
again.
it's legal or not legal. I don't think it matters to his business mind.
I was at my local Panda Express, which was so good. And there's a
Treehouse.
there's a pot shop across the street, and it was advertising mushroom gummies. So I don't think people care.
You did not need to include the Panda Express detail to get that point across, but I'm so happy you did.
I did get the chow mein and the double orange chicken.
There you go.
Can't go
Shout
wrong.
out to the MU.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it when Benny starts sentences and I just have no idea where they're going.
So
They usually end at a local Panda Express.
Yeah.
Or
Which
Stars.
is why I'll follow you wherever you go, Benny, because usually all roads lead to a Panda Express somewhere.
Well,
Even when the
Panda
sentences start with
Express.
Panda Express, they end up ending about Panda Express. We're in the middle of one right now.
Yeah. There's a Panda Express, and right next to it is a Carl's Jr. And the swirl of smell that
It just
is in that intersection
brings you back to 2008.
Yes, because that was a Carl's
You're supposed
Jr.
to be at a biology lab. You got to campus and realized you're 30 minutes late already. So I'll just get CJ's or Panda Express anyway.
So
Yeah.
get some
And
chicken stars.
I'll just have Ted do
Chicken
my homework
stars.
for me. Yeah.
Oh, shout out
out.
Zed Tava.
Yeah.
Shout out chicken stars.
Anyway, well, let's raise our Starburst, our party forwards,
My
and
chicken
our
Starburst.
churro milk microdoses. In the Reagan Beers segment, cheers to Reagan Beers. It's Leo Von Olhoffen, Dominika Perova, Timia Gardner, Donovan Hunter, Scott Ruick, Lily Hansford, everyone on the AJ Murat. I would forget a starter.
Come on.
And everyone who has ever played women's basketball in the entire history of Oregon State University. The rest of this podcast will just be me reading those names. Salud.
Shop them.
Salute.
Eat shit, Notre Dame.
Yeah. We're not saying slancha.
And we're not
Yeah.
exactly.
You dumb Irish fools.
We will refrain from talking any shit to South Carolina for the time being.
Yeah, for now. Till next. Shit. I guess till next week.
Although that game,
we
I think, it would be on Sunday. We might have to do an emergency early released episode if I'm not going to jinx anything.
Yeah.
There might be a reason to record before our normal recording time.
Dawn Staley's going to be too preoccupied doing Aflac commercials and shit with Coach K.
Yeah, they're going to be like, "Oh, Don, sorry, we have to film one right now outside of the local Panda Express in Albany with Coach K. He flew all the way up here." This is a time sensitive. This is a time sensitive film issue. Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we can't get out of here without mentioning basketball a little bit. We're done. Great episode.
Bye.
Perfect episode. It's not even 11 p.m. Central Time yet. I'm so excited. No, as you know, the men's March Madness tournament also started, which is a thing that happens. A couple things there. Loving all of the Twitter action about how much money the other Pac-12 teams, and Wazoo included, have been making for Oregon State and Washington State. I believe the tally's up to for sure about 20 million, with Arizona making it to the Sweet 16 and going 4-0 in the first round. I'm not happy about one of them, but I'm happy about the rest of them. Thanks, Colorado. Thanks, Washington State. Thanks, Arizona. Appreciate the bump, buds. So yeah, if you want to, I think Wilner's been the one who's posting the running tally, and you know how Twitter has always been just like a great website and bastion of support and productive conversation. There's often a lot of really good constructive information added in the replies section of Wilner's tweets, where he literally is just laying out the amount of money allocated for Oregon State and Washington State based on wins per a legally binding document that all parties signed in the past. No one can get worked up about something like that, can they, Benny? I don't think they would. So
no,
check out John Wilner and check out everyone. You know, I didn't even know what an NCAA tournament unit was until a bunch of other schools tried to cause the extinction of my alma mater, and then this legalese and financial fine print became a lot more important. So if you didn't care about NCAA tournaments before this year, I think you should just shut the fuck up. Yeah, that's my advice.
Yeah. I hope Scott Barnes is calling Arizona's athletic director and telling him to go make daddy some money this weekend.
I really thought Arizona was a fraud, and I really wanted to pick them to lose the Long Beach State. Yeah. Also because former Minnesota coach and former Gonzaga coach, Dan Munson, who was the coach at Long Beach State, got fired before the conference tournament, won the conference tournament, is still fired, but coached out the season. And had they won, he just would have been a sitting duck coach with a team winning games in the NCAA tournament. It was when that game was like 30-30. I was like, oh shit, I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it didn't. But now my bracket's so fucked. Go Wildcats.
Yeah, go.
I'm okay with that.
Go Wildcats. And Arizona could really use the money.
Matty B, big Wildcats fan. I like Matt. He's a good guy. I want him to be happy. I care about Matt's happiness. You care about your brother-in-law's happiness, don't you, JP? The good one, not the one who cheers for the Ducks. We don't care about his happiness.
Then yeah. Good clarification.
I
Benny,
don't
who
mind
does your brother-in-law? Who does your brother-in-law cheer for?
Which one?
I don't know. Elsa's.
Ben has like 16 siblings.
Yeah,
they're all younger though. I didn't know all of them were married. But anyway,
we're old.
Elsa's the only one I care about right now. Sorry, the rest of Ben's.
Yeah. He went to University of Iowa, so
he's an Iowa fan.
Yeah, okay. But I will say my sister is she went to University of Iowa too. She's such a diehard Beavers fan. I think
that's why I care what Elsa has to say on the matter. That's why she's getting the name drop on the show.
She'll cheer for Oregon State over Iowa any day. She actually was walking down the street in like her neighborhood, which was not. It was like a nice Chicago neighborhood, and there was a sports bar that had an Oregon Ducks flag hanging up in there.
I think I know what bar you're talking about.
She opened the door and she's like, "You don't even fucking know. You don't fucking even know." And then shut the door. And she told me that story, and I was like, "God, I love you so much."
I love how she did identify herself as a Beaver fan too, just so that. Everyone in that bar would just be confused the rest of the day.
They're like, was that a terrorist? What is happening?
What don't we know?
Yeah.
So
what don't you know?
Still
fill a warehouse or
yeah.
So that's a short way or a long way of saying.
Well, Elsa's husband is allowed to be happy in the championship game when Iowa meets Oregon State, and then he has to be sad.
Yeah.
Sorry, not
he
sorry.
Must. Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
There's no other way around it.
Speaking of sad, Oregon State men's basketball.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Wow.
But we knew with the start of March Madness that the men's transfer portal was going to be opening, and we speculated on this a bit last week. And we have now seen two names enter the portal. Forward Justin Rochlin and guard Christian Wright have entered the portal. Most importantly, neither of those names are Jordan Pope or Tyler Bilodeau. And we had pretty high hopes for Rochlin and Wright when they came here. Obviously, he's like, you've listened to the show, you've seen the games. Not much has worked out in that time. I don't really, put anything on them, but also I'm not going to lose sleep tonight because of either of these bits of news. I'm not trying to. We get called out for defending the program on here, and I think we're just trying to be like somewhat realistic and also somewhat hopeful, because not being hopeful, just what's the fucking point? I'm not just gonna publish a podcast that takes a lot. And you can't spell chopping without hope, and I'm not gonna spend time actively being mad about things I can't influence. But yeah, I'm not going to lose sleep tonight because of that. I'm going to lose sleep tonight because I am a night owl with bad habits, and I'll probably finish this recording, go downstairs, and watch too many episodes of something that I could just watch on another night. That's why I'll be losing sleep, not because of this transfer portal news. Maybe by the time this gets published, Jordan Pope is in the transfer portal, and everyone is going to go like, see? I just said reality, Benny. So maybe Jordan Pope is in the transfer portal. Probably not, though. He's probably gonna post the same type of poster, him and Bilodeau high-fiving in the same pose and manner that Jordan and Pippen were, with the script The Last Dance above it. They're coming back for one more year. We're going to win the WCC. We're going to go to the Sweet 16 and beyond. I would love to see that. That would make me so happy.
In that text, it's also going to have the disappearing face and then the thinking face, and then we're not going to know what to make of it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, he has been social media silent for like 2 weeks.
And then maybe we'll see a wordless post or just the avatar switch to a photo that doesn't include his head, but is clearly him with his left arm in a cast with no explanation.
Yep. The creativity of these kids, man.
One does.
Yeah. You got to hand it to them. They know how to work an audience. This era of young people know how to work an audience when they have one.
Gen Z, it's the generation of performers, and 99% of that excites me. The other 1% is screaming like, just tell me if you're leaving or not.
Yeah. You need to be more direct.
Young man, half my age, who owes me nothing.
But like I said,
I don't know. For the attributes, I just want to hear like,
Well, I texted you guys about this, and I said, well, it didn't really answer anything, but it was more of like a conscious stream of my thoughts.
It's a positive thought. That's not too outlandish.
Yeah. And I was saying, like, you get these two guards announcing they're leaving, and you know, one of them, did Christian Wright transfer in? I think maybe they were both transfers.
He did. Yeah, they both were.
So they're both transfers into the program, and then announcing so quickly. Like, I'm trying to be like, is there some kind of writing on the wall that we're not seeing? And one of my thoughts was that they're announcing they're transferring because they know that Pope's staying, and clearly they did not get the run they wanted this year. And I think what we thought maybe they would get in any other situation, maybe guys like that, and with a guy coming in like Pope, when they both join, you would expect them to kind of have the reins for a while, let them lose the reins, versus like, you know, just have Pope ascend as far as he did and kind of just take it over from them and take the lead on the team. But maybe they know that Pope is staying, and now it's clear how much they're going to play, so they're not going to play as much, and decided like, I'm out. Yeah. Because my rationale was, if you're a backup, at least if I was in that position, and even considering where the program is and the conference affiliation, everything else, I would wait out to see what the starter was doing. Because look, at this point, you've already transferred once, and find me a transfer that's gone somewhere twice, had enough success to reach your dreams. It's not very high. So like, if you can ride it out and you have the reins handed back to you because the starter, or the, you know, like the presumed starter and continued starter and Pope is leaving, and you're the only one returning that could kind of take over for him, you're going to kind of wait until you know what he's doing, right? But then on the flip side, I said, well, or they just know that he's about to announce he's leaving, so they're already, you know, weighed their options, and they're like, this is, he's leaving, and I'm leaving, it's over.
And Wright's a bit of a sad story too, with a kid who's just had a hell of a time trying to stay healthy. Yeah, and has had a lot of unfortunate injuries, and clearly has talent. I'm guessing we'd see both of these transfers where they end up going, and, you know, best of luck. We want people to find success and be happy. But I would guess we're not, although I was about to say, I don't think we're going to see either of these guys go to Kentucky. But things aren't as grand at Kentucky.
Who knows?
That might be a downshift.
Ruined my Final Four. Thanks, Kentucky.
Yeah.
But,
although, did you see
maybe we'll
John Calipari's son? Did you see the outfit that John Calipari's son had during that? It made the loss worth it. Go watch or go find it on Twitter.
Was it
I had
good or
people
bad?
over during this game. So.
It's funny.
Okay, I like that. That's good.
It's like,
funny is good.
Yeah. It's like he woke up and was like, I want to look as much like Jack Harlow as I can.
Oh, it had been a while since Jack's name had been mentioned on the show.
But
thank you.
Jack Harlow.
Terry's gonna rap battle him.
Right.
Yeah.
And John
Calipari's he wearing?
At the same time.
The
on
turtleneck?
TRL.
Yeah.
The turtleneck. Here's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. This is exactly when Aaron Stevens told us to Google Deshaun Stevenson's T-shirt from last night. I almost just Googled John Calipari's son's outfit from last night. I Googled John Calipari's son outfit, and okay, that's not quite as crazy as I thought it was going to be, Benny. But it's also like that's not the worst fit I've seen. It's not the best. It
is the worst.
It is a turtleneck.
You get bounced in the round of 32.
You can't rock that shit.
I'm gonna wear a turtleneck on the next episode. I don't even own a turtleneck, but I'm gonna buy one.
I got overalls that I was rocking the one strap on over the weekend. I should have worn those tonight.
You should have worn that. Why would you change?
Yeah, I wore it on Saturday.
Okay.
I shouldn't have changed.
Well, if he was wearing overalls, none of us would be hating. We would be praising.
Yeah. Why would you change? Oh, if John Calipari's son was wearing overalls. No, but if Benny was wearing overalls, I would love it. And I'm actually sad to hear that you were wearing them not so long ago. And a real man in overalls wears them to bed, wakes up. Buckles them again and gets after it.
Benny, put him on and
for you.
Put him on when you do yard work, and then just like send us pics. But you have to have one of the shoulders undone.
Yeah, but also,
I had one strap on.
Don't do any yard work. Just like walk circles around your yard and like rub dirt on your knees every once in a while
while drinking a beer. I know you don't drink beer that much, but you have to just like have like a fucking Rainier can of. With the condensation rolling off it and just be like, yeah, it's good to have land.
Yeah, and just for fun, put a straw in it.
Right.
Put a straw.
Yeah.
Give me the first like really like sunny, nice day of that beautiful Pacific Northwest summer. Just be in your yard with one strap of an overall done. Mm-hmm. And a cold tall boy of Rainier.
And no undershirt.
And can't have any undershirt.
And a pierced nipple.
Can't have any undershirt.
That hangs out with the one side that's not buckled, so it just glistens every once in a while. Depending on how you move, the sun hits it.
But if I just get it done, it might have to be just a really small diamond.
Wait, is this a consideration?
Getting a nipple piercing
every day. Oh,
I thought about getting my nose pierced. Yeah.
Benny, pierce your nipple.
I'm going to Danny Brown this weekend.
If Oregon State women's basketball wins the national championship, will you pierce your nipple? You only have to do one.
Yeah.
You will?
Wait.
You're saying this on the podcast.
If Oregon State makes the Final Four, I'll pierce my nipple.
All right, fine. I'm gonna up this. If Oregon State makes the finals then, after the Final Four, you have to also pierce your nose, but it needs to have a chain from your nose to your nipple.
The stakes have never been higher.
I will do that.
The stakes have never been higher.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Settled.
I'll have to wait for a weekend that Yuri's not here.
They don't go away after a weekend, buddy. You're gonna have to face the music at some point. You might as well just tell her now.
Yeah.
And be like, look, the guys made me do it. Yeah. And then the girls kept winning.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. If you don't let me do this, Yuri, then you don't support women's sports.
Oh, yeah. Put that on her.
A chain from my nose to my nipple.
It looks good.
You can take the chain out. You have to have the chain in there for at least a full day after it happens. But I think the chain doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be like a permanent fixture.
Yeah,
I imagine people who do have that don't have it permanent.
Yeah, you're also very lucky I didn't make you put a chain to your wallet from your nipple. That would be incredible.
Please don't steal my wallet. Please don't steal my wallet. It's going to be so painful.
Please don't.
Oh my goodness. Well,
that would be such a good fantasy football Sacco challenge. Is it the last person? They would have to go do that and then go to like a high pickpocketing area of town and just stay there and stand there. Hour.
Yeah.
I think I just go have my nipple removed and be like,
oh, look, it worked.
Just do it. Just do it. Just do it.
Speaking of I
had a perfect segue that we started talking about nipple piercings, and I was going to say Brad Calipari can't pull that outfit off, but someone who can, because he can pull anything off, is Travis Bazzana, Oregon State legend. His name is Australian for noise, and is on a bit of a tear. If you have not heard,
maybe a little.
Is it good to hit a home run in the leadoff at bat 4 games in a row? Like, is that a good thing?
I've
heard it's pretty good. Thing. I've heard it's pretty nice, actually.
It was talking about Oregon State women's basketball getting high percentage buckets earlier. Is there a shot in basketball that's a higher percentage shot to get you up like 2-0 or 4-2 or something early in a basketball game than Travis Bazzana hitting a jack to go up 1-0 in a baseball game? Like, that's as high percentage as like the fucking mic and drill at this point. He is just raking. So in addition to those 4 leadoff home runs in these last 4 games, the 3-game sweep of the Dogs and the midweek game against the Pilots up in Portland, Bazzana's hitting .590 with 8 home runs, 18 RBIs, 13 runs scored. He's homered in 5 straight games, 4 with the leadoff jack, but total home runs in 5 straight games with all those other insane hitting numbers. I did a little bit of an MLB mock draft roundup in March. That's, I'm trying to earn my college baseball sicko card. And then I will keep compiling these types of notes, and then we'll submit it to Mark Garland at the end of the season for college baseball sicko approval. Keep up the great work this season, Mark. You guys are crushing it like you always do.
No kidding.
But we were like, how the fuck is Bazzana not going to be the number 1 pick? And mock drafts are starting to put him in the number 1 spot. Yeah. And big boards are starting to put him in the number 1 spot. I've seen him go up those charts. It seems like he's kind of in a, like 1-2 position right now. And that draft isn't until July. And Oregon State's got a lot of games, a lot of important fixtures on the schedule, and things that Travis for sure wants to accomplish before the draft. But just this run by him lately, like we could talk about Travis Bazzana for 3 hours and call it good and still not even scratch the surface of how fucking good he's been. But dude, this is next level stuff, what he's been doing lately.
Outside of Travis, we outscored opponents this week 45-6. That's insane. Yeah. But clearly, like, Travis is a huge part of that. Him, Mason Guerra, both, specifically those two, had absolutely amazing weeks. Guerra, obviously under the radar because Travis is getting all the attention. The dude had 3 home runs against Portland, I think, followed by 2 in the Utah, or the 2 were followed by 3. 2 home runs in the Utah game before that. But this team's on fire. It's unbelievable. They are exploding on offense. And I think that's getting all the headlines too. But like the pitching, that's what people were worried about. All of a sudden, those naysayers are nowhere to be found either. Giving up 6 runs in the last 4 games. I mean, and in college baseball too, where I mean, you're not having a whole lot of, 3-1, 2-4 games like you do in MLB. Like this is much more high scoring game. This team is firing on all cylinders. I get why Arkansas is still ranked as number 1, which the rankings came out today, but I think the only reason that they're number 1 is because they beat us head to head. Oregon State right now is, in my opinion, far and away like playing the best baseball by a lot.
So I brought this up earlier to the Mini Bay, telling about Travis, and even just saying it out loud. And I was explaining, I was like, listen to what he's done over these last 4 games. So, like, first game, first batter for the Beavs, home run, 1. Next game, first batter for the Beavs, home run. And at that point, his jaw already dropped. Like, whoa, 2 in a row. Next game, first batter for the Beavs, home run. Like, his jaw was on the floor now. And then I'm like, and then mine too, I'm like, and then first game, first batter for the Beavs. Or next game, first batter for the Beavs, home run. Like, that's, when you say even out loud, it is absurd.
And I'm sorry, Jay, is this the record for all of college baseball or Oregon State specifically?
All of college baseball.
That's crazy.
Brady Anderson set the record with 4 consecutive games of leadoff home runs.
Orioles legend.
I was going to say, play for the Orioles.
He might have been one of the most hyped players ever as a prospect. And like, because of the stuff he was doing like this. And so what Travis is putting on right now is beyond a clinic. It's absurd. It is like maybe a stretch of baseball that I haven't seen in the longest time, maybe that I can remember ever in college baseball.
Yeah.
And I brought this up a couple weeks ago again, where I said, I think he is already the first overall pick. I think that this dude has shown enough ability, let alone production, to be the first overall pick.
Yeah.
And we still have half a season to go, and it's phenomenal. And he's carrying this team. He's not alone, of course. Like, I mean, just looking OPS, of course, Micah's still way up there. Way up there.
Yeah.
Slapping hits left and right. Guerra's coming, like I said again before. What was that? Was it after Surprise? Maybe it was after Arlington, but I said, like,
oh, you mean surprise?
Yeah, surprise! Like, he's gonna get his back going. There's no way that he's gonna be sitting around doing nothing. Like, he's just, again, taking his time to warm up.
Right, he's crushing it. He's crushing the ball.
Craig, Casper. I mean, these guys are just playing lights out. Whenever they're on at the plate, it's scary days for pitchers everywhere. And I think this weekend series proved it. That this team, top to bottom, it's easily the best team in baseball offensively. Pitching's coming up with it now, and I would not be surprised after this weekend if they found themselves at number 1.
We're still not quite to the halfway point, but Bazzana is hitting 467, and more than half of his hits are extra base hits.
Yeah, and has an on base percentage of almost 600.
Yeah,
like. It's yeah, it's crazy.
He's been caught stealing twice, but I feel like that's just to prove that he's human.
Yeah, he's just letting up.
Well,
like,
it would be too suspicious if he had. He's like, I'll let them have this one.
I've seen people like rank Oregon State baseball players, and I've seen a number of people put Travis ahead of Adley, and I don't think that's crazy. I think Adley was
accomplished. He's the accolades, and he also was incredibly good at a very, very difficult position. But
exactly, and it's so recent that he was playing at Oregon State, and he's had such an incredible couple seasons.
Bazzana's gonna have to get a tackle in a football game to totally match
Chris McCaffrey.
Yeah. But
I forget that was McCaffrey. Jesus.
My point is that, like, I don't have to urge people to get to Goss, but what you witness at Goss is something that's really special, and something that this program, we've seen a lot of incredible players come through. I don't think we've seen someone like Travis Bazzana come through this program.
And Terry, are we doing a Travis Bazzana home run watch? Are you gonna?
No, I'm not in. inducing that kind of controversy into this season. I refuse to. It's been too joyful. It's been too fun. I will not allow myself to be made a villain of again, just for your two's amusement.
It was fun.
I will predict Travis Bazzana to achieve everything.
Nice.
I will be on the right side of history. I have learned from my mistakes.
We love you, Jacob.
And we still love to Jacob Melton, and apologies to the whole Melton family. I don't even really remember what I did or how unbreakable that record seemed. But anyway, I'm not thinking against Travis for anything.
Can I also say, like, the fact that we have Aiden May and Jacob Kamatz, who both have ERAs of under 3. Like, dude, this team is so...
Segura had what I would argue the most complete start of the season on Sunday.
Yeah.
7 scoreless. Again, I know. Washington, you're not that good. So
Jesus, no kidding.
Gotta, take it with a grain of salt a little bit, but I know we had to freak out against the pitching. And we had to do think pieces about that one game in Utah where we blew a 9-run lead and lost 14-11. I know May didn't go that deep into the game on Friday, but still seeing him pitch on Friday was great.
Yep.
And to outscore a conference opponent 31-3 in a 3-game sweep. And guys who came in, he's great, 3-inning performance from Jaron Hunter after Kamatz came in, took the ball from Hunter. Hunter came in and took the ball from Kamatz after Kamatz had 6 really strong innings on Saturday.
Yep.
And then Sunday, 7 incredible innings from Segura into 2 innings from Joey Munt. So if you are one of the people who, and I'm not diminishing your worry at all, but if you need to see something from Oregon State baseball this weekend, you couldn't have seen something much better than what we got. And I think back-to-back wins where you only had to go to 2 pitchers going into the upcoming stretch that we have now, which will be USC this weekend, followed by what always seems to be a pretty tough midweek with Gonzaga, who we get at Goss shortly thereafter, with a bullpen that should be well rested. And also, goddamn, love to see this for Joey Munt. I know he's gotten a win this year. He's coming in and played well, but dude missed all of 2023 and all of 2022 because of injuries. He's been at Oregon State forever, but to miss 2 full seasons and come back, seeing him on the mound right now is great. So you can't say enough good things about Joey Munt, and love seeing him get the ball to put the finishing touches on a 10-0 thrashing of the Huskies.
Yeah, people are only hitting 129 off him.
Yeah, he's pitching well. He's
pitching very well.
Going to be a quality arm down the stretch. We got USC on the road.
Joke.
Those bastards.
They're a joke.
Cicerone Field at Anteater Park. So USC baseball plays at UC Irvine's camp. Are they building a new baseball stadium?
No, they just fucking suck.
This is not making the argument for my college baseball sicko card, but why the fuck do they play at UC Irvine? That seems dumb. Have they always played at UC Irvine?
No. They have to be doing
no, because they used to be they
were the crown jewel.
Good. Yeah.
So I don't know. The first time USC baseball was ever on my radar was when I was a kid going into the 2001 MLB draft, and the Twins had the first pick, and everyone was debating between a catcher from Minnesota named Joel Mauer or a pitcher at USC named Mark Pryor. And it was pretty well understood that the Twins were going to take the hometown kid, but Mark Pryor still came out anyway and was like, I'm not going to fucking play for the Twins if they draft me. I added the profanity there, but you get it. And everyone's like,
his sideburns did all the
we
talking.
Aren't drafting. Yeah. Like, we're not drafting you, Mark. Good, because I'm not going to play there. And okay, cool. You're not, because you're not getting drafted here. So we can take you at your word, number 2. And Pryor went second in the draft. And I always hated Mark Pryor after that. Just, you don't have to be a dick if you don't need to be a dick. What's the point? So fuck USC. I'm glad they're not even playing at their own school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and fuck
they're
Mark
also
McGwire.
a bottom feeder of the conference.
And fuck
Yeah.
Mark McGwire.
Did he go to USC?
Yeah.
I think I
He
knew
did.
that.
I didn't know that.
But
Yeah, you steroid taking
I haven't
asshole.
thought about Mark McGwire for a while, man.
Probably for the better.
Damn.
Right. And it's also that dude is a goon for way more than just steroids too. Man. Good time.
So you have USC, right?
3 games against USC, followed by a 2-game set at Goss with Gonzaga. Well, then we're at Goss for a while. We have a 3-game against the Sun Devils at Goss, and then Portland comes to Goss, and Stanford comes to Goss. So we don't hit the road again after this trip until April 16th. And we go to Reno, Nevada, the best little city in America.
Who might be the toughest competition in the next month that we have. Because I will say our schedule
our
is
strength of
very...
schedule is gonna decrease here.
Yeah, it's like we are playing from the bottom up. I mean, USC is second or third to last. Arizona State second to last. Stanford
Arizona State used to be just monsters.
Stanford was fucking great last year,
too,
and
yeah.
Stanford has a losing record this year. I don't know
cool,
if the Pac-12
their catcher is being mocked to the Twins. So glad we're gonna jump on the Stanford baseball bandwagon.
They also got a really fucking good pitcher from Japan that signed with them in the last couple of weeks, but he's not playing for them right now. And
good.
I mean, Oregon State is looking at racking up the wins if things continue to go the way that they are. They're playing teams that they should be. I mean, they're playing teams that are on similar levels as Washington.
I'm kind of sad we're not playing at Stanford this year because a past baseball episode, either last year or 2 years ago, our 3rd birthday is coming up,
damn.
guys.
Yeah.
We're about to be 3, and you'd think we'd stop acting like 3-year-olds.
No, we're 3.
Or start acting like 3-year-olds at some point. Nope, we're 2. We will be 3 on May 11th.
We're terrible.
One of my favorite episodes ever was when I truly don't even remember who said this, but we were talking about an Oregon State Stanford baseball matchup, and one of us went, "Wait, their field is called the fucking Sunken Diamond."
Benny. I know about Sunken Diamond. I grew up there.
And then we got. Well, I also didn't know that. That was news to me then. And then we just got off like 20 minutes straight of just making fun of the name Sunken Diamond and how it sounds like a casino you absolutely do not want to find yourself at. And I don't know when the next time we'll play at Sunken Diamond is. I'd like to make that road trip the next time that Stanford baseball is on the schedule. I don't know when that will be, but probably before I die. I hope to be around for a while. And yeah, I bet it's next year. The independent schedule should help with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to go there, tell someone at Stanford how stupid that is, and maybe start a casino called Sunken Diamond. Because I feel like there's a lot of money in owning casinos.
There might be.
I've heard.
Yeah. And then we can fund this
inventory
podcast.
is gambling. We're having such a hard time funding it right now.
We do go to High Corbett Field in Tucson.
High.
Yeah.
Putting the high Corbett.
Yeah.
Out of this orbit so high. That's excited, how you know
man.
we're running out.
I'm fucking
so
excited for this baseball season. Like when we previewed this team, we knew that they were going to be good. I don't think we knew that they were going to be this good midway through the season. They are certainly as advertised. We've said it before, but like if this team doesn't get to Omaha, it's a huge disappointment. This is the best baseball team that I can remember. I think this is the best baseball team that we've
top to bottom.
To be
top
totally
to bottom,
honest.
100%.
Yeah. Yep.
So many ways to beat you, and hoping for another sweep.
Yeah.
This week in Irvine. At Anteater Park, where we're not playing the Anteaters. We are playing the Trojans.
Why?
Who can't use their field for some reason. Probably because it's filled, currently holding all of the extra resources they now have from being in the Big Ten. There wasn't enough room in the vault for all the bags they got from the Big Ten, so they had to dump them all in the stadium until they could build a bigger vault. Is that what it is, USC?
No.
Fuck you.
They're upgrading the stadium. They're pushing capacity to about 2,500 once it's done. And yeah.
Whoa.
Temporarily.
What is
interim home ballpark is in Irvine.
Anteater.
Yeah. Trojan
They're going
Eaters.
to be so out of place with an updated ballpark in the Big Ten.
Trojan Eaters sounds bad.
Trojan Eaters. Who do they think they are? AJ Niebergall.
No.
Usually you pay extra for that kind of action.
No
guys.
comment.
What is their field name? Dadu.
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 I don't know. Something
The doo-doo.
stupid.
It's like instead of Bordeaux, it's
Dado.
French fucks.
Idiot. You wanna be Paris of the Pacific Northwest sounding fucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eat shit, USC.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
you.
SC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
All right, we're clearly out of insights on Oregon State baseball when we start sounding like this. But yes, Beavers back in action from beautiful, I'm assuming it's beautiful, Anteater Park in Irvine, California.
Whoa.
March 28th at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. There is a USC live stream, though, so you can watch that.
Do we have a live stream? Because you just froze in the middle of like.
You don't have a live stream.
Oh, well,
Start over. Not that far
The
back.
whole podcast.
Start from the beginning.
how sweet it is! Oregon State women's basketball marching on. Like we started on topic that early. Get the fuck out of here. So I don't know how I went into this sentence, but it started with first pitch Thursday, March 28th, 6:30 p.m. at beautiful Anteater Ballpark in Irvine, California. Catch the Beavs on the USC live stream. But then, email them and tell them how shitty of a stream it is.
No! Don't talk shit to our school.
No, USC. USC is not our school. USC is the one doing the live stream, which I think is the only way to watch the game. Do not email Oregon State Athletics and tell them how shitty of a stream is.
Yeah.
It's always good. They always do a perfect job. Always.
Yeah.
Don't look at
What's
me with that tone of voice, Jake.
Perfect job? Is that the segue? Is that
perfect job?
Nice job. Almost perfect.
Perfect. Well, perfection is a segue. What's the definition of perfection? No blemish detected. And there was no blemish detected on the perfect 10 on the floor routine that Jade Carey turned in at the Pac-12 championships, baby.
Man.
I ran out of breath halfway through that sentence, and I can't believe I got through
it's
it.
Like rapping.
Give me a
college.
podcasting award now, please. JP, please talk while I catch my breath.
Yeah, that's like when we would rap in college, and I'd be like, I don't know how I ever envisioned I would finish this verse I wrote because my breath is diminished to zero. But there's a 0 and 10, so it makes sense why we're talking about this at this moment, and it's because
there is a 0.
Jade Carey's perfect 10 on the floor was. Just beyond incredible. I rewatched it probably 3 or 4 times, and it almost looked like it was like an instructional video on how to score a perfect 10. Like there was just immaculate perfection from everything that she did from beginning to end, the way that she stuck every single move. I was floored. I was absolutely floored. I know the results didn't go our way when it comes to the team score, but I swear, man, if you haven't seen Jade perform live and do her thing on any event,
add that to your list.
It is a must see. It's a must see because at any given moment she'll bust out something like she did at Pac-12s, and it's astonishing. Like I joked, I think maybe what was it like our I don't know, maybe our episode 40 about how they make landing and sticking some of these moves like better than I can stick a landing off a curb. And I've tried to get better about getting sticky landings off a curb. I've worked really hard on it. And there's still.
You need Jade to actually make an instructional video that starts you out at step 1, and that first step is literally stepping off a curb.
Yeah, and then step 2,
and it's
stick the landing. It's very easy. I understand that, Terry. Thanks. Yeah. It's easy on paper, but it's very hard to execute. And what she does, what the rest of the team does, to be honest, what everybody does in gymnastics in general, it blows my mind. But when I, as a admittedly casual understander of scoring in gymnastics, can tell immediately she's got a 10. Like, this is absolutely perfect in real time. Like, that's how much there was just no blemish detected. Not one. Not even plural blemishes.
Not one.
Just no blemish
Not one.
detected. And she's a phenom. We're blessed that she's graced us with her talents, and that she loves Beaver Nation as much as Beaver Nation loves her. But I do feel like Beaver Nation should still pour more love into that athlete, because she is maybe one of the best we've ever seen come through Oregon State in any sport, period.
You don't need to wait to this summer's Olympics to start putting hype on Jade Carey's name. Like, you can do that now, because the team's going to the NCAA tournament for the 49th time in program history.
Yep. And deserved. And they've been in a bit of a transitional year, influx, with some new youth, and they've still pulled it off. I mean,
right.
I would have loved to see some, dominance this season when it comes to just like cakewalking through Pac-12 and Pac-12 championship. But when you've got Jade Carey anchoring whatever she can get to on any given day, you know you're set up well. And we've had a lot of other just solid debuts and contributors. And so the program's in great hands. And like, I think that this is still not if you're worried about Jade being, kind of like a flash in the pan for Oregon State gymnastics, and after she's done, it's kind of over. No. There's no way. This is a program that has continuously developed incredible talent, and Jade's just one who came in with maybe more God-given talent pedigree than anyone in the history of humanity.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, I think that maybe the top end, Jade's still on the team, but the top end dominance has been a little bit different this year. But as Warren noted, we got so much better. Our guy Warren DeGray, we got so much better at bars this year. Which bars have been, you shouldn't think bars and Oregon State should never be a weak point. But not that the past teams have had many weaknesses, but bars just like kind of wasn't our best event. And we've gotten damn good at bars this year with a lot of different gymnasts. The team is ranked top 25 across the board in every event. I don't think that's Warren D. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we've been that high in that many things concurrently. So I think, if this is the last year of Jade being an OSU gymnast, like, hell yeah, thank you for the memories. But even I think there's a lot to build off of here. And I don't think you'll see even much of a decline, even though you can't replace a shining star easily. But there's a lot of consistency across the board. There's a lot of young talent, and the results are speaking for themselves. And they're going to the NCAA tournament and have a decent shot at their regional, currently sporting the number 18 ranking nationally. So, like, people who were expecting a drop-off, like, no drop-off detected. No blemish detected, and no drop-off really detected either. Like, this has been another great job by Tanya Chaplin, which should surprise fucking nobody.
No one.
That's just what this team does.
Yep.
So, question for you: do you think that Jade Carey won't be back next year?
I have no information on that. I just know that this summer it's expected. we still have the Olympic trials to go through, but I do know that I'm expecting to see Jade Carey at the Olympics this summer, and just with the lifeline of national like gymnastics careers that don't last very long, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if she decided not to return, but I also wouldn't be that shocked if she did return. But getting 3 magical seasons of Jade Carey as an Oregon State athlete is still pretty amazing. I don't know if she has graduated already or what. I'm really just speculating because I do know that I don't know what her motivations now changed to, because I do know she's been very motivated for this Olympics, which is understandable. And then once this Olympics concludes, I would imagine there's kind of a reset on what's next for and what's the best place for her to be. And if she thinks that there's another Olympics in her, I don't know how many gymnasts we've had compete for the U.S. in 3 straight Olympics. I know it's probably been Simone Biles and some other names, Dominique Dawes, Carrie Strug of our childhood. I don't even know if were they in 3 straight Olympics. Like, that's a long time to be at the top of your game in a brutal sport from a competition standpoint. So I just don't know. I would be thrilled if she came back for another season, but that's something I don't think we'll know the answer to until like late summer.
Until she's made it public, whatever her will is. And I just think that she has nothing to prove in college, really. With her aspiration levels,
she's won so much.
And I get it. Like, if you're not competing on international level, and you're not with whatever country or Team USA, like, your goal is probably when the end of your collegiate career is to like wrap up like a collegiate championship in an event or on a team. And she's got 2 times perfect 10s on vault. She's 2 times perfect 10 on bar. She's got 10 on beam. She's got 4-time 10, actually now 5-time 10 on floor. And like, what else do you need to do to like show that you are one of the greatest college gymnasts of all time? But if you're already in the conversation about where are you on a Team USA level, like, you kind of have to be like, all right, I checked all the boxes in college that I wanted to, because my focus has always been gold medals. And I can't blame her for that. Like, of course, I would love to see her come back, but they've already limited her events this year. They, as in I don't know who they are. I mean, they're saying like her events have been limited this year. And I think part of it's obviously because of precautionary for the Olympics. Some of it's because the scoring's different in the Olympics than it is in collegiate, and trying to get her to learn routines and practice routines and whatever, because of college scoring might deter her abilities for Team USA. And I feel like that was maybe the start of the end, was just like, hey, she's still here, but not doing it all around as often as she once did, and I think that's what you get when you have somebody of this caliber, where college sports is maybe the peak of gymnastics for many, and there's no true like professional ranks where they can really showcase their abilities outside of the non-professional, truly professional ranks of the Olympics.
Right. Carrie Strug was on 2 Olympic teams. FYI, I was looking that up. 92, 96. Dominique Dawes was on 3 Olympic teams, 92, 96, 2000. But even like Nastia Lukin, who was kind of a national star, when I think these athletes, like the celebrity around gymnastics was growing a little bit, she only competed in the Olympics in 2008 and was a gold medalist and took home like 3 silvers and a bronze too. And Simone, I believe, will be hope to make her 3rd Olympics this year. So getting, that's just, I looked up the 4 most famous gymnasts I could, think of right off the top of my head, but I know it's a small window of opportunity. So just getting to 2 Olympics, let alone medaling, is pretty damn impressive. And I don't know enough about the sport to know like what the highest level is. But I also like I agree with what Jay said. I don't know what else there's left to prove at this level for her.
Right.
But she's been a great beaver and just majestic to watch. So I won't be mad if Jade Carey chooses to come back, but I'm not holding out too much hope for that either.
For sure. Yeah.
Before we go tonight, we do need to talk about legal briefings and the courtroom a little bit. There's not really any breaking news here, but in addition to the attention that's been paid to the bag,
the units
that OSU and Wazoo, the units, that because clearly we fell in love with March Madness and the One Shining Moment video and everything. What was always on our mind. We even played the saxophone to it. What was always on our mind during all those childhood memories of dreams coming true and imagining what could be possible, the number one thing we all fell in love with was NCAA tournament units. So it's right for everyone to be worked up over this very vague and opaque phrasing about an amount of money that none of us are ever going to personally see. So let's be really mad online about NCAA tournament units. Related to that, Oregon State and Washington State have finalized the financial agreement with the 10 departing schools from the Pac-12, also known as the Traitorous 10, the Treasonous 10, and a bunch of other names that I could list because we can say whatever the hell we want on this show, but in the interest of time, I'll refrain. However you feel about those institutions, I do not blame you. It's the same deal that was agreed to in principle late last year. So I know Wilner tweeted out a bunch of language from it. There's a lot of different dollar amounts. I didn't go line by line to see things, but it is what the leadership at Oregon State and Washington State were fighting for recently. And this is in conjunction too with Teresa Gould's fight when the college football playoff media rights extension with ESPN went through, and Oregon State and Washington State were initially only going to get $360,000 a year apiece, when by contrast I think is the Big Ten and SEC, it was getting $22 million a year per school.
Yeah.
And she got that number up to $3.6 million. And I don't quite know how she did it. I know it's temporary, and I think it's only for the next 2 to 3 years. Yeah. Something tells me, given the type of leadership we're accustomed to from the NCAA, that a 0 or 2 could have just been fucking missed. And they're like, but yeah, it was like millions less than the Mountain West even. So Teresa Gould, as our new fearless leader of the Pac-12 conference, the reaction to that seems to be a pretty significant win. Yep. It looks like we've got a fighter on our hands. It looks like we've got someone who understands what to do in those situations and how to have those conversations and how to say we're not fucking dead. Stop acting like we are. So I'm not ready to throw any kind of parade route for this, but I'm kind of, feeling refreshed and happy that it seems like we have competent leadership in the wake of a really difficult situation. I do know our president, Jayathi Murthy, does not mince words, and her support towards both Gould's victory to get that dollar amount up to the $3.6 million annually, and also the finalization of this deal speaks volumes to me. So I'm happy with it. I don't think it's like another massive victory for the Pac-2, but those resources are starting to materialize in ways that you can kind of see and read about, in ways that you can understand in layman's terms a little bit. So yeah, not much else to say on that, but I'm happy that maybe that there's some closure and maybe a little bit more money than we thought, and keep bringing us those units, Arizona, I guess.
I think one thing though to note that is outside of the money, the units, everything else, and more about the longevity of the PAC brand as a conference is we retain the audio and visual digital rights for all of historic footage.
That's big.
So
Right.
essentially, anything that's ever been broadcasted in any capacity in the entire universe, according to the language, we have
Belongs
the
to us.
rights to that.
Us too.
And
Right.
we can leverage that for just
So in case ESPN wants to air another obituary for the conference it helped kill, they'd have to send a check to the PAC too.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
again,
good to
but
know.
outside of money,
I wonder if
Terry, outside of money, I'm just saying that this means that I think this conference has
History.
legs still.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you secure that unless you believe like we're going to need this
In
for
your
the
future.
history, for the for telling the history of this conference. Like, and it's important to look beyond the brands and the schools, and instead remember that these events took place in a PAC 8, 10, 12, and we should own them, accordingly. And I think in today's day and age, that's massive. I think that's not underlined enough how big that is, that we have all the rights to all the historical footage.
Yeah, agreed. Do you think that means, like, for example, if the Big Ten wants to show USC highlights, would they have to pay us?
Depends
for
whose highlights they
those?
are. If they're Pac-12 network, or we own them in some way that we've bought them from whoever filmed them, then yes.
Yeah.
Big Ten Network's going to try to start doing Big Ten classics like USC versus UCLA in 1977.
Yeah, but like,
they're not going to be able to
but
do
the
that.
odds are that kind of
Because they
footage, or at least enough to
Unless
run a
we-
broadcast and not just like show some old, single camera angle. Like, we would be involved, and that would again
They'll
be
play
money in our
ball.
pocket.
Like if you're watching shit earlier, like next season or something, and they're doing all the previews and showing highlights from next year, like you'll see that fine print on the screen of, like they'll be like, oh, Caleb Williams is leaving, and then they'll show like 5 Caleb Williams touchdown passes, and it'll say courtesy of Pac-12 Network on the screen, and then which
By
probably
proxy of courtesy of your paycheck.
There would need to be like more communication to do that beforehand, which when like in the past, it was probably gonna be like, we're going to do this and we're going to credit you. And it was understood, back when like we were all just living in harmony and shit, and no one was trying to gut anyone else's programs or conferences or things like that. What a time. What a time to be alive that was, that we didn't even acknowledge.
Like acknowledging the end of this episode.
If you're dancing on the grave of the Pac-12, you're going to need to quit because it ain't dead yet.
The Pac-12
but this
ain't going
episode
nowhere.
is dead.
I said that in summer
Episode
of
134
2023
is coming to its demise. We are done and going to bed and getting really excited for Friday in Albany.
Woo, yeah.
It's so sad none of us are going. Ashton and Tim Barnes will be there. TB will be in the house. If you're an East Coast beef, get your ass to Albany. Come on, do it. I looked at tickets. Tickets to the sessions that will include Oregon State are very reasonable. If you don't know which session the Beavs are a part of, they are the ones with the non-Caitlin Clark pricing attached to it. If it says $270 just to get you into the door, that is not the session that Oregon State is playing in. $45? Yes. That's where you go. So you can try and sneak in to watch Caitlin Clark, but we'll watch. It's great to go to Albany. You get to see the third best team who has the third best player, and I'm of course talking about the Iowa Hawkeyes and Caitlin Clark. And you also get to see the second best team, who I am of course referring to with the South Carolina Gamecocks and the second best coach in Don Staley. And then you get to see the first best team.
Let's go!
The Bees,
The best.
Hewitt, and drink 15 beers, wearing number 15 beers jerseys.
15 beers, huh?
In Albany. The Paris of upstate New York, if you will.
And the second best Albany.
Yeah.
So,
Albany, California is not nearly as good as
sure?
Albany, Oregon, or New York. I can attest to that.
Right. I'm not even totally sure where Albany, New York is.
Upstate,
it's upstate, bro.
I mean, well, everything's upstate when your geographical sense of the state is New York City, there's nothing south of New York City. It's water and New Jersey.
And New Jersey.
Everything else is upstate.
Tony Soprano.
Oh man, what a great show that was.
Oh,
but I'm not gonna start quoting The Sopranos with Benny, because then this episode will never end, and it needs to. This episode may be coming to an end, but Oregon State women's basketball march through the madness will not end. They're in action Friday. That's 11:30 a.m. Pacific time against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at MVP Arena in beautiful Albany, New York. Get there in person if you can. Organize some local watch parties if you can't. I will be at brunch somewhere in San Francisco screaming at a television in a bar somewhere.
I'll be just landing back in PDX.
Probably not with JP, but JP, we should talk.
Yeah.
About CrossFit.
I'm so jealous.
Benny, come to San Francisco for 3 hours on Thursday night. Just do it, asshole.
Okay.
And we'll talk more about you getting your nipple pierced. And we'll talk more about Travis Bazzana raking and the men's basketball transfer portal. And we haven't talked enough football this spring, so we're going to have more football in the coming weeks. Spring practice is happening, spring camp. The showcase game on 4/20 is coming up. Lots of excitement. NFL draft, Talise Fuaga is going to be a big pick. We're going to catch up with some other prospects, the outline of the whole weekend and where future NFL Beavs might hear their names called. Keep it locked and loaded. Like and subscribe, rate and review, 5 stars only. Share the show with a friend and give us a follow at Bellig Beavs on Twitter. Belligerent Beavs everywhere else. Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, YouTube. I always put YouTube last, which is the one I want to prioritize. We need to put our video on YouTube. That'll get people to watch it. I love that people watch even though it's just a graphic. Like sometimes I'm curious how everyone interacts with the podcast, but when it's just like the still shot of the logo and like the first 3 things we talked about.
Benny, do you have to tell them or me? We're a podcast for what?
For your ears.
Yeah. And not for your
guys. And not for your ass.
We don't have faces for radio though. We have faces for YouTube TV. So it's a great time to introduce our new sponsor. Just kidding. Thank you for listening to this episode. Wherever you listen to it, hit us up on social media. In addition to the show, you can follow me, Terry Horseman, at Terry Horseman on Twitter and at Terrence Holstman on Instagram.com. My beloved co-hosts are, as always, JP Bertram at the Trial J on Twitter. That's at _Trial_J because he's too trial to be real. And at JP Bertram on IG. And also with the good quaff and the really cool, smart-looking spectacles.
Thanks.
Tonight, too. Benny, gosh. I love that the glasses were featured in your Wazoo Victory Cigar Twitter vid from the first night of the tournament.
It was my good luck joint. They were not doing very well at the time.
And then
I got them across the finish line.
You didn't get high enough when they played Iowa State. That was the problem, you selfish bastard.
Yeah, I'm a fucking asshole.
But
sorry,
your quaff is still perfect. Benny with the good quaff. Benny Bedlam, because he's fucking crazy, folks. Benny Bull Game, Benny Blastoff, Benny Burner, and at Benny L 1986 on all the social media channels. Go Beavs, chop them. Go baseball, go softball, go Beaver Gym, go Beaver women's basketball, especially kick Notre Dame's ass.
Yeah.
No one's ever sad when Notre Dame gets their ass kicked at anything. It's the right thing to do for us, for everyone, for the planet. Good luck in Albany. We are behind you. The nation, Beaver Nation of millions is behind you. And if you get too excited or nervous or whatever in the build up to this, just remember for a fact, an inarguable fact, that you cannot spell chop 'em without hope. So chop 'em.
Chop 'em.
Chop 'em.
Beavs back, baby.
Get out there and make daddy some money, Arizona.
Jesus.